She stood in the doorway of my own living room, our living room, wearing the same robe I bought her last Christmas. Then she said it. Calm, rehearsed, cruelly casual. "I'm engaged to someone else. We've been seeing each other for months." I didn't shout, didn't throw anything, just stared at the woman who'd shared my bed, my food, my plans. She smiled like she expected a scene, a meltdown. Instead, I said, "Congratulations to you both." And in that moment, her smirk faltered. She didn't know it, but that was the beginning of her eviction from my life, legally and literally. When we met, I was rebuilding, a man climbing out of a rough few years. She was all warmth and laughter, said I made her feel safe. I believed her. We moved fast, house keys exchanged, dinners shared, plans for the future. I funded her master's degree, supported her when her job fell through, even put her name on certain household accounts. Love, I thought, meant trust. I didn't realize she translated it as access. It began with small shifts, her phone always face down, late-night study sessions, perfume that wasn't hers clinging to her jacket. Then one morning, I noticed a reflection on her laptop screen while she was on Zoom class. Not a lecture slide. A man, shirtless, in her background. I didn't confront her. I learned. Pulled up statements, backed up chat histories, installed a doorbell cam that synced to the cloud. Every piece of evidence stacked itself neatly, like dominoes waiting for a nudge. And when she said those words, "I'm engaged," I already had her confession archived from 3 angles, in high definition. Revenge doesn't need noise, it needs paperwork. While she packed for a weekend trip, I met with my attorney. The house was mine, deed, mortgage, utilities, all under my name. She'd never formalized her residency. Every shared card, I froze. Every password, changed. Every cloud folder she used, backed up and locked. When she came back 2 days later, the locks clicked but didn't turn. She rang the bell, confused. I answered through the intercom, calm. "You don't live here anymore." That evening, I called the police, politely, respectfully. Explained the situation, ex-partner, unauthorized occupant, attempted entry. They came, professional and quiet. She protested, waving a ring that wasn't from me. Her new fiancé showed up minutes later, loud, defensive, still smelling of the cologne I'd once bought as a gift. He shouted at the officers, claimed she has every right to be here. They asked him for documentation. He had none. As she screamed my name, I handed one officer a folder. Time-stamped texts, lease documents, utility statements, the engagement messages. The officer turned to her and said flatly, "Ma'am, you need to leave the premises." I watched from behind the glass door as she dragged 2 suitcases down the driveway, her fiancé pacing beside her, red-faced. The irony? He drove off in my car, one I'd already reported as under title transfer the day before. It would be repossessed within 48 hours. 2 nights later, he returned, pounding on my door like a man who thought volume equaled power. "Let her back in," he yelled. "You can't treat her like this." I opened the security feed on my phone. His face glowed in night vision, desperate, angry, small. "She said you'd understand," he shouted. "She said you were decent." I pressed the intercom. "Decent men don't sleep with someone else's partner in their house. You're trespassing." Then I added, softly, "But don't worry. You'll have plenty of time to talk about it when the cops get there." The blue lights painted his car before he could finish his next sentence. The silence that followed was better than peace. It was justice. I replaced every trace of her, photos, perfumes, toothbrushes, even the shadow her presence left in certain corners. The house felt cleaner, sharper. Franz asked if I was okay. I said I'd never been better. Because the truth is, betrayal doesn't destroy you, it clarifies you. It shows you where your mercy ends and your boundaries begin. She announced her engagement expecting heartbreak. Instead, she taught me how calm vengeance can be. Quiet, precise, lawful. So when people ask why I didn't yell, why I didn't cry, I just say this: because I don't argue with thieves. I evict them. And every lock that turns now sounds like applause.